Hi everyone, my name is Yuri and I'm the owner and director of Growth Collective, formerly known as Adjust Media. And today I want to share with you some tools that we're using on Meta that we've leaned into recently that has helped us scale an account. Not just scale, but bring down CPAs. And so we'll go into it today. I'll show you this live account here, an account we've been managing for the last few years, and show you the last 3 months and how the account has evolved over time, the products that we're using, the campaign breakouts, and some results. So just to jump right into it, the whole point of today's, tutorial is to share some results that we're seeing at the agency that have been extremely helpful in scaling our direct-to-consumer accounts. And so 2 of those in particular are ASC, which is the Advantage Shopping campaign, and then the Meta Shop. So checkout on Meta, checkout on Instagram, alongside regular website checkout. And how we have evolved our strategy from just website only into campaign mix that includes ASC, Advantage Shopping campaign, and shop, and then how that's evolved over time. So I'm going to go back in the account here that you see on my screen to April. I'm recording this in July. So I want to show you the last 3 months, April, May, June, and then how we ended up testing this and what the results were. And I'll show this to you all live and then where it's at today. So just to begin, if we look at April, we spent about $35,000 in April. We brought in about $66,000 in value for just under a 2x, a 1.9. And we're very customer acquisition cost focused. So we really focus on CAC. CAC is not a KPI, which we can see in our Meta dashboard. So for the purposes of this video, we'll just look at CPAs. So for $23.75 CPA. And so this is the month, which actually was an improvement over March, but this was the month where we did all of our testing. And I'm going to show that to you in just a moment if you stick around. If we then look out to May, so we had our testing platform in April. May, we started scaling up a little bit. And here you can see we went from about $35,000 to $45,000. So just over a 30% scale. Our CPA came down by about $3 or $4. ROAS went up. So scaled up, CPAs came down, ROAS went up. And then out of May, we just continued to really support at a baseline the same amount, 1-to-1, in terms of really leaning into automation. So that ASC, that website and shop, in order to maintain the scale in June. So here we spent pretty much, 1-to-1, $45K. The difference is that CPAs came down. We went from $19 to $17.50. And then ROAS was also pretty solid at above a 2, which is, our baseline is about 1.75 for this account. And then leaning into, it's really early July, we had a pretty strong push for Independence Day, but it's a slower month right now because we've been demolished with stock over the last 4 or 5 weeks because of the success that we're seeing. But here you can see a pretty significant improvement of, $3,600. It's usually what we spend in about a day and a half. It's now been 6 days or 5 full days. Our CPA has come down to $10 and we're at about a 4x. So to jump into how we were testing everything in April, just to go back here, we break things out by cold and warm. So you'll notice that we have different touch points here. Anything that starts with a 2, so this 2.1, this 2.0, those are remarketing. But anything with a 1 is it's all prospecting, but in this case, we were testing. So at the beginning of April, we really wanted to lean into ASC. When that became available for this account, they rolled it out over time. Meta rolled it out over time. So here you'll see 4 different campaigns that spent about $32,000. And it wasn't a perfect test in the sense that obviously we launched some things later on throughout the month. So in April, like this, which is currently live now, and I'll show you the results after, this DABA, it only spent $500. But at the beginning, we were testing really three different types of prospecting. And then throughout that month, it was very clear what was working. So what we see what's active here, this is like automation times 2. We are using Advantage Shopping campaign, which we're just setting up an audience that's 99% prospecting, 1% remarketing, with our top ads driving to website and shop as a destination. The one at the bottom is just a general conversion campaign. So that's where we're setting our interests, our lookalike audiences, our broad targeting. And so in this particular case, we decided to run website and shop only. So we're doing more of manual targeting. And then this middle one is the most basic, the one that we've been using for years. This is just our top of funnel direct to website ads. Those are your standard conversion ads. And so here we can see a pretty drastic change over time. So if we pull, let's say even the maximum, if we pull April, give me one moment here. If we pull April again, we'll see that this particular campaign, the one that's the more standard direct to website, that ran for about $500, brought in 10 sales only, 10 sales here for $45 CPA and less than a 1x return. The moment that we duplicated that and dropped it into website and shop, so here you can see all of our different audiences that we ran throughout April, we've seen an average about of $30, so $29.60 CPA and a 1.5x. But then when we go to full automation and we do 90/10 and we drop all of our SKUs in there, then we see a huge increase in prospecting efficiencies. So we have 800 sales at a $22 CPA and a 2x return. So we're looking at roughly 30% decrease in each step. So if you go from just regular website conversion standard campaigns down to, hey, we're going to add in shop as a checkout option, we're seeing on average in all accounts, I'm obviously just showing you one today, about a 30% reduction. So you go from $45 CPA to a $30 CPA. In fact, that's exactly a 30% reduction, 33%. And then when you couple that with an additional automation, so the ads don't differ, we're just leaning into ASC a little bit more, we see an additional reduction of about 30% from $30 down to $22. I'm rounding down to 20. And ROAS is hitting and we're able to scale up. So leaning into automation for all of our accounts is something that we've been doing over the last few months. In some instances, we've had ASC as part of an alpha and a beta earlier in 2022, like early mid 2022. And those weren't working as well. But we've found that since roughly November of last year for the accounts that did have it available to them, it was working quite well. And moving into Q1, Q2, Q3, we're now in Q3, we're in the 6th day of 2023. It's really taken off and we've really leaned into it for all of our accounts. So we'll notice here also at the end of that month, the month of April, we also launched a dynamic ads for broad audiences. So that's like the original DABA. And so that is running to prospecting audiences as well as remarketing audiences, because we found that regular catalog ads were not doing well. That started to pick up. So it wasn't the best within the month of April, but it was right when we launched it as it's kind of like a prospecting and remarketing campaign all in one. We're just writing copy and then we're using the catalog with website and shop. And then if like that started to become part of our campaign media mix. If we average out May 2023 and June 2023, we'll see that we've been able to scale that up fairly drastically. So I showed you guys before what the averages looked like in terms of what actually occurred at the beginning of this video. So April was at I forget, it was like a $24 CPA. May ended up being like a $19 CPA. And then June ended up being like a $17.50 CPA. Here we can see what that average looks like when we just lean into these two automated campaigns. So this has been the vast majority of our driver of prospecting for this account. We've spent 70 grand, roughly 70K over 2 months within these two campaigns. And here you'll be able to see the stats that website and shop, which is pure prospecting, and there's winners and there's losers, that is still at an amazing sub $19 CPA, much above our target ROAS of 1.75 at 2.28. And then our DABA campaign, which is almost a mixture because of the setup that we have in terms of it being 50-50 customers versus prospecting when you're able to actually put in a customer budget cap. That CPA came in even lower at roughly $15, but obviously AOV is not tracking as well. So 2.06 in terms of ROAS. But yeah, this is a setup that we are seeing working, that works over and over again and replicating into new and existing accounts. So the clients that we had previously that have been running standard traditional conversion-based campaigns, we have transitioned over to ASC. We still utilize those standard campaigns as almost like a testing platform to then bring the winners up to the scale campaigns. But both the ASC shop DABA campaign, which is the first one you see here, as well as the just scale based one, which is not catalog based, web and shop ASC campaign, are definitely our two drivers. So I very much encourage you to check out and lean into these if you haven't already. And I'd love to hear in the comments below what your experience with these types of campaigns are. Again, my name is Yuri. I am the director of Growth Collective. You can visit us at www.wearegrowth.co. We help direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands with their paid media. So that's meta buying, TikTok, LinkedIn, any paid social. We handle all paid search for our clients. We handle content curation and creation. We handle all graphics, videos, email, SMS. From acquisition to retention, we've got you covered. And feel free to reach out at www.wearegrowth.co. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.